Welcome to day 19 of the 30 Mixed Media Card Challenge. You'll find all of them are linked in the description below and on the screen. But today we're making this card here. So let's get started.
You need a card blank or some card folded in half. I'm making a standard 7" by 5" card, but obviously you can make it any size. And I'm going to get some tissue paper. Now this is an old paper serviette, just one I've had hanging around for ages and not used. And you're just going to tear up your tissue paper wherever you've got it from, and you can do whatever colour you like. And you're just tearing it up into small pieces. And then we're going to glue them to the front of the card. You want a PVA base glue like Mod Podge, or this one's called decoupage glue, and a brush, and just add some glue to the front of your card, and then take your pieces of tissue paper in turn and glue them on. And you're going to cover the whole of the piece of tissue paper with the glue. You'll notice I'm not worrying if it gets crinkled up and it gets folded over. That's just adding to the 3D effect. It's just giving some texture to the card. And you just keep doing this until you've covered as much of the front of the card as you want. I'm going to cover most of the front, but I'm going to leave some white bits around the edge. You might just do a patch. You might cover the whole thing so there's no white showing. And you'll notice that the more layers you put on, the deeper the colour. So again, you're adding more interest by having some of it with more layers and some of it with fewer layers. Once you're completely happy with it, just leave it to dry. You don't want to do anything else until it's dry. And you'll see I'm just looking at it and then deciding on a few bits that need a bit more. I hope you like this effect. I do. I love it because I think it's dead cheap, dead easy and really effective. Once it's dry, you can add anything else you want to the card. Now, a standard thing with cards that works really well is to put something down the left-hand side, down the fold. I'm going to use a piece of lace, and I'm just going to use the same PVA glue, and I'm going to use the same technique of putting plenty of glue underneath and plenty of glue on top. Great for down this left-hand side is something called washi tape as well. Or you could draw. You could use a ruler and draw straight lines. You could do a fancy doodle using a stencil, or you could even get a rubber stamp and put that down the side. Anything you like, it's just giving it a border on that edge. And then I'm going to add lace flowers. So really for me, this card's very much about the lace on top of the paper effect underneath. And these flowers were just cut out of some simple lace. And I think they're really rather effective. I'm just putting them in this corner. Again, you could do any design you want all over the card, but I quite like this something in the corner design. And you'll see I'm putting plenty of glue on the top. It's just so those edges don't catch and don't try and come up and rip them off the front of the card. We just want them to be nice and secure. And then you could add anything else you want. I'm adding a greeting, which you can get free off my website. So I'll put a link in the description and on the screen for you so you can get to those. But you can get them from anywhere. And I'm sticking them on with some of the little foam pads because I really like those. They just give a little bit more 3D, a bit of a brighter effect. And then put your greeting on. You could, of course, have written your greeting if you prefer. And that's it. You've got a beautiful card. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you're going to make one for your next celebration.